Hi everyone, welcome to our channel of the three Betty girls, Minh Anh, Bảo Trân and Ngọc Ánh. Today, we will continue the series of business protocol and etiquette around the world. Last time, we visited South America. This time is Europe. Now, let's go! Europe is the second smallest continent, including 45 countries. Europe is a part of the Eurasian supercontinent and is bordered by the Arctic Ocean to the north, the Atlantic Ocean to the west, and the Mediterranean, Black, and Caspian Seas to the south. Europe is divided into four main geographic areas: Northern, Southern, Eastern, and Western Europe, each of which has its own patchwork of ethnic, linguistic, and religious groups. According to a statistic in December 2022, Europe's population is about 748 million people, including 87 distinct ethnic groups. Among them, 33 groups form the major population of the continent. The largest religion in Europe is Christianity. In the economic field, according to Statistics Times, Europe's GDP in 2021 cost 23.4 trillion, accounting 2.6 trillion more than in 2020. It is understandable that Europe is the center of technological advancements, scientific research, and political development in the world. Today, we will be analyzing Germany and the United Kingdom, the two biggest economic guys in Europe that make the others in the world look up to them. The hot potato of this video is business protocol and etiquette of the UK and Germany, and the comparison of the two countries.
Now, let's get into British business protocol. The UK is well known for its formality in professional settings. Dress code, the way of greeting and addressing are some prominent points. In greeting, light handshakes are considered standard. In mentioning or calling others, they will use Mr., Mrs., Miss, or job titles such as doctor. You can see it on a card when they exchange it. For business etiquette, generally gift-giving is not a normal part of British business culture. However, gifts such as chocolate, liquor, or flowers may be given when visiting someone. But remember that white lilies and red roses are not suitable gifts in business settings because they are meant for funerals or romantic interests. You don't want to be awkward, right?
Likewise, the Germans also share some similarities. In business protocol, they highly regard formality in many aspects, such as business attire, communication style, and so on. In a meeting, they maintain eye contact and handshakes, but a firmer handshake than the UK's. The Germans also prefer personal space, so an arm's length distance is highly suggested. They also appreciate punctuality and consider it as the most important in business. Like the British, the Germans don't have a gift-giving culture in business because gifts may carry personal intentions. However, on work social events, a small gift is acceptable. And similar to the British, red roses or white lilies are not allowed. One more note is that during the meal, the Germans will not mention anything business-related to maintain the work-life balance.
Now, let's check out these situations to better understand.
Paul is the Human Resources Manager at Quartz Power Group. He has called a meeting with some of his colleagues to discuss a new training program.
Right, shall we get started? Well, we're here to talk about a new training program for the call centre.
The results showed a few areas where customers were not happy. One of the most common, how shall I put it, issues was with the call centre.
I see.
Anna?
Look, I have no problem with giving the staff a refresher course, but starting completely from scratch seems like a waste of time and money. They will receive training when they start anyway.
Yes, that's a good point, Anna. And we don't know yet if we will have to start from scratch.
Next, I will compare British and German, and for those of you who want to work with partners from these countries, I will also mention some of Vietnamese characteristics. Let's begin with the similarities between the German and British protocols and show you how Vietnamese is at the other end of this spectrum. The first is formal wear in the workplace. However, in both the UK and Germany, employees are usually not required to wear uniforms. This is because they are individualistic, thereby appreciating personal preferences reflected in the dress code. Individualism in Europe stems from the intellectual movement called Enlightenment in the 18th century. In contrast, Vietnamese employees usually wear uniforms to work due to their collectivistic spirit inherent in Confucian society.
Another similarity is a form of nonverbal communication, which is oculesics, meaning eye contact or gaze behavior. Maintaining eye contact is crucial in conversation for both Germans and British because it's a sign of attentiveness.
Hi.
Hello.
Are you Paul?
No, I'm not. But he asked me to meet you. I'm Emir. You must be Vanya.
Yes, I am. Nice to meet you.
You too. Can I show you the office?
Perfect. Thanks.
However, in Vietnam, as being influenced by Confucianism and feudalism, the Vietnamese listener tends to look down to show respect, especially when there is a power difference. Or else, eye contact may convey the impression of aggressiveness and disdain. Indeed, the power distance score of Vietnam is 70, which shows the practice of avoiding eye contact is frequent. Meanwhile, both German and British score 35, which means they perceive others almost equally with directness, and eye contact is an indication of this.
So we acknowledge that the Germans and the British share the same values and culture, right?
Well, not really. There still exist some differences between them. Firstly, in the directness in communication. There is a trait of low context culture in Germany, meaning that the Germans will say exactly what they mean rather than imply. Therefore, in business meetings, be prepared to receive some honest but constructive opinions and comments.
Sometimes politeness is the source of misunderstanding. If you show up in an office and you are asked for a certain fact, information, or quantity, just an example. I have a coffee. Judith wants me to, do you like milk or sugar? Then I'd say, yeah, it would be nice if you would be kind enough to go and stop it. You're in a German office, somebody asks you, you want milk or coffee? The answer, if it's only milk, whatever you say, yes, period. Not yes, I would like to, but no, yes is the answer. If you have a choice with two alternatives, you take the two alternatives and you say, milk, yes, sugar, no. That's it. It's not impolite. It's not rude to answer that way.
On the other hand, British workers, similar to Vietnamese, tend to be more polite and less direct because they generally have a higher context than Germans. Notably, the British are well known for their understatement. For instance, when the British say, "I almost agree," the foreigner may understand this statement as they are not far from agreement, while in fact, what they actually mean is, "I don't agree at all." This restraint and careful choice of words is to save face for others, which is believed to maintain harmony in relationships and success in business.
Secondly, in terms of business entertainment, Both the British and Vietnamese are willing to involve themselves in activities such as golfing, dining at a restaurant or a private house to further business relations. However, their reasons for this vary. For the British, their indulgence score is 69, which makes them an indulgent country. They place importance on leisure time, and this is reflected in their business. For the Vietnamese, this score is only 35, but they usually practice this since they are relationship-focused due to their collectivism. These respective reasons lead to a mix between work and life. Conversely, Germany, neither indulgent or collectivistic, is a restrained society as people rarely have business entertainment. They strive to attain work-life balance by excluding entertainment at work. A reason for this balance is that it is strictly stipulated by the law of Germany. Do you know that the average working time limit of both Germany and the UK is 48 hours a week? However, while in the UK, the employees can opt out of this limit by a written agreement. The Germans can only opt out with a collective bargain agreement, which requires a third party apart from the employer and the employee. That is the trade union. In other words, even if some Germans want to work overtime, it's not going to be easy.
Wow, so interesting. So here are some tips that I have drawn from your sharing. Firstly, if we work with British or German partners, it is best to arrive on time or even early. In communicating with German partners, the usual communication style of beating around the bush of Vietnamese can cause miscommunications and misunderstandings for the Germans. Just feel free to directly express our thoughts. In exchanging business affairs with the British or Germans, we can look eye to eye to show our honesty and reliability. But this tip cannot be applied for working with Vietnamese partners. Beside business duties, to get harmony and success in work with Vietnamese colleagues, we should build personal relationships with them. Unlike German and British, the Vietnamese do have a gift-giving culture. So this is a great way to show your sincerity. It may be a great plus point in case you are in need of help for dealing with workplace difficulties.
So, that is all for today. Do you have any question? Please comment below and share with us your opinions and your suggestions for the next topic. Bye bye!